Is it about what you see or about what you hear? I don't like people joking that I had an accident and knocked out my teeth playing with my child. It's not very nice. And I've been taking a lot of crap from people lately about that. So I've been letting you guys see me. Alright. So I've been contacted by Joe Gilberti, the awesome, the amazing, the everyday American hero. He is so awesome, I'm gonna be honest with you. Alright, I want you to know Joe Gilberti has been banned for 30 days from Facebook for exposing the truth. Facebook's been attacking anybody that is exposing Joe Gilberti's RICOs. He's got civil RICOs out that expose a criminal conspiracy for murder for profit to hide a secret ocean of fresh antioxidant water that can stop some cancer and disease. You can see it publicly out there where Joe is actually being domestically terrorized by the police over this, and the news are calling the police on him. I've experienced this myself. Wavy News 10 has threatened to reveal my information to the people that I was calling about, basically the FBI. So we turned around and called the FBI, and I listened to Joe Gilberti actually tell the FBI what lawsuits they were facing. I kind of laughed at that one. I mean, you can't help but if, you're an everyday average American and you're sitting back listening to the FBI get told what lawsuits they're facing, and they pretty much are sitting there dumbfounded, not knowing what to say, and then pretty much it's just, I can't tell you everything about that phone call because I could bring a lot of trouble down on myself. But I was laughing. I'm not gonna lie, Mr. FBI agent. I was laughing at you when I hung up the phone because you absolutely let Joe control you, and it was absolutely funny. And Joe, it was the most amazing conversation I've ever been involved in. My God, thank you that day. All right, so I got a message from Joe, and it had said yesterday that he had been, I think it was yesterday, that he had been kicked off Facebook for exposing that he filed a motion to intervene and reopen the case in Broward. Sheriff Scott Israel, I think Parkland shooting, and Ron DeSantis, criminal, with racketeering case filed. See Broward case 19-005019 with Judge David A. Hames, Haimes. Gilberti kidnapped with WFDEP Marjorie Stoneman Douglas submittal 17 days prior. Well, then he turns around and he sends me an article, and Ron DeSantis, he's going to have a rough summer. The motion is Israel versus DeSantis, so I'm not going to read the rest of that message. That's an awesome message, Joe. Oh my God. I wish I could read you guys that. It's absolutely hilarious. Okay. I'm opening something that Joe sent me. You're going to want to hear this. You always want to hear it. Whenever Joe sends you something, you want to read it. You want to hear it. Because you know it's going to be good. Oh, here we go. In the Circuit Court of the 17th Judicial Circuit in Broward County, Scott Israel is the elected sheriff of Broward County, Florida, petitioner versus Ron DeSantis, governor, state of Florida. Motion to intervene and reopen case pursuant to racketeering case filed in Washington, D.C. Stephanie! Did I talk to you about a city? Okay. Intervener Joseph Goberti, a licensed professional engineer in the state of Florida pursuant to Florida Rule of Civil Procedure 1.230, hereby moves to intervene as a party petitioner in the action between petitioner Scott Israel and the elected sheriff of Broward County, Florida, respondent Governor DeSantis, governor of the state of Florida, and state as follows. The respondent worked with Governor Rick Scott, traitor, local police, domestic terrorists, U.S. and local leaders, criminals, news media, arm of criminals, and Broward school boards. Children killers, in my opinion. To hide $17 million. Oh, by the way, those were my personal opinions on those people. Alright, they want to hide $17 million offer. $17 million offer on March 20th, 2018 at the Broward School Board meeting on an agenda list to the wounded Stoneman Douglas victims to discuss violent video games, TVs, and movies. This offer was presented by the intervener with exhibits delivered. Oh man, he talks all technical. He's really super smart. Joe is really super smart. With exhibits delivered to the superintendent's staff and school board members within 30 days of the Parkland shooting. The shooting was timed exactly 17 days after the critical world drinking water was submitted to the FDEP State Revolving Fund in Tallahassee in the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas building on January 28, 2018 for World Medicine Changing Resource. Under intervener's property located at 9438 Dodry Road, Sarasota, Florida 34266. This site is a U.S. Supreme Court's. Did you get that? This site is in U.S. Supreme Court's Sarasota to Tampa courts for years as part of the Florida North-South water conflict currently under Israel-Saudi Arabia mosaic phosphate attack. So Israel and Saudi Arabia mosaic phosphate are attacking our healthy water that they're hiding from us. Working with health foundations, hospitals. Yes, I can say personally that I have the CEO of Twin Cities Hospital actually said to me he does not want his patients to get healthier water. He actually said those words. Working with health foundations, hospitals, big pharmacy groups to maintain a massive racketeering operation and lower the service water supply. Federal racketeering lawsuit is filed case 19CV00738 in Washington, D.C. on said issues has been filed with an enterprise including Governor Rick Scott in cases involving the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooting timed with submittals to FDEP to the Marjorie Stoneman Douglas building in Tallahassee with the intervener and John Eaglehart of the Fort Myers Health Department director as witness. Oh, the Smith-Month Act of 1948 was modified to potentially set up a tax on America, with the enterprise tied to the Pulse Bar shooting and Marjorie Stoneman Douglas shooting, both timed to subdue the intervener and attack his clients in Sarasota lands with a world-hidden underground resource that affects mankind and health sustainability. The resource under this land demonstrates potential genocide crimes by the enterprise over a 40-year period to all Americans and humanity, in the access of alkaline mineral spring water 1,000 times healthier than anything on the planet ever seen at the tap of homes throughout the nation. See Exhibit 1. Submittals to the United Nations is being processed in conjunction with filed racketeering lawsuit that may become criminal once discovery moves forward in a 5-minute water test shows America how real this resource and recent actions to hide it really are. See Article 2 of the 1948 Convention of the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide, defines as it is more broadly emphasized. This is mine. In the present convention, genocide means any of the following acts committed with the intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group, such as killing members of the groups, causing serious bodily or mental harm to members of the group, deliberately inflicting on the group's conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, imposing measures intended to prevent births from within this group, forcibly transferring children of the group to another group. This case involves a water supply being hidden by the enterprise we will show is in a child traffic operation, involves judges, lawyers, media, cops, FBI agents throughout Florida and Indiana, with witnesses and recordings submitted to Washington and under investigation. I've heard some of these tapes. Tina Church and Cobra Stops, you're not very smart for letting people tape you. Tina Church, you need to stop threatening people with the ABC agencies. And so does Wavy News 10. Wavy News 10 is threatening people with the FBI. If you call a report on the FBI, Wavy News 10 will actually threaten to give the FBI your information. I actually have seen this personally with my own 2 ears and eyes. Where was I? The compromise was written, and this case follows a pattern of multiple crimes of killing children. Did you hear that? Killing children, both at the tap with cancer rates and subduing them with churches and fake birth certificates, that is public records in other courts. Proof is critical water supply, which has been FDOT and FDEP permit for a 300-mile transmission down I-75 since 2012 to lower cancer rates, to bring millions of new jobs that have been surrounded by terrorism acts of government and Wall Street corps, such as Mosaic, ranging from the Boston Bomb Marathon and more. See attachments. Ooh, I see the word deep state cops and Secret Service. Ooh, hoo, hoo, hoo. I was going to stop there, but I think I'm going to read one more. With past FDEP emails of Jog Torch run by FDLE with Governor Scott shown in Leon County 5 hours before the Boston bomb used to kidnap intervener, with Tampa District 13 raising a small $500 misdemeanor bond, which he got wrongfully. They so falsely arrested him for whistleblowing. See, I told you it was a false arrest. and permitting the world resource to the tap. Victims being most powerful lawyers in the world, Greenberg Tereg for Israel Mosaic Phosphate. The bond jumped to $300,000. Gilberti is surrounded by U.S. Marshals, deep state cops, and Secret Service to hide this world resource from the people, with no contact with so-called victims. In a year, just 12 days after the secret underground resource was found. Then all charges were dropped a year later after attacking the land in Sarasota, showing a massive Department of Justice Florida and U.S. leader media group and terrorists stealing tax-based Medicaid and creating fake news attacks with Obama, Biden, Governor Rick Scott, Mark Rubio, Blue Gold Bush family, Vern Buchanan, Bill Nelson, and more, just to name a few. This case is also part of other cases in state and federal system. Wow, we're going to stop there tonight.